Good evening and welcome to the Township of Bedminster. This is the Township Committee's regularly scheduled meeting for June 20th. We're meeting on a Tuesday rather than a Monday in recognition of Juneteenth, which was yesterday. I'll recognize that we have a quorum of Township Committee members. Committeewoman Gina Fernandez has an excused absence. And Committeeman Doug Stevenson also has an excused absence. We extend congratulations to the Stevenson family. They have 8th grade graduation tonight, and last week they had high school graduation. And also congratulations to Colin Hickey and the Hickey family for Taylor's graduation from Dartmouth. And congratulations to all the Bedminster families who have 8th grade, high school, graduation, college, whatever you've got. So congratulations, it's that time of year. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers, and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 10th, 2023.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a very busy schedule tonight. There's a couple things that we do want to talk about. We'll be getting to them at the towards the end of the meeting under old business. But they do include the power outages that we all experienced not this last weekend, but the weekend before, on Sunday, and then again on the following Monday. I was in contact with JCP&L, and Committeeman Hickey was also in contact with JCP&L throughout both incidents and afterwards getting updates from JCP&L. And we will be calling JCP&L representatives back into these chambers for discussion, excuse me, of what happened for both incidents and JCP&L's plans for improving and armoring the system. You know, we've heard this from many times before from JCP&L reps. There's been improvements in reliability. But then when we have an incident like 2 weeks ago, it really questions people's faith in JCP&L's commitment to making those improvements. And at my request, Ms. Ray put on the Bedminster website the directions for filing complaints with the BPU regarding your energy service. So folks who wish to make a complaint to the appropriate state agency, that would be to the Board of Public Utilities. So once again, go to our website if you're looking to make those complaints, and you'll be given directions there. This is the time of the meeting that we open up the microphones up here for public comment. We have some folks in the audience. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I'll call you up and state your name and address. Don't need your street number, but we do need your street. And all the way in the back. Come on up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening again. And once again, for the record,
my name is
and
Michael
street.
Roden. I live on Spencer Lane in Pluckerman in the township. To start, I'd like to thank the Public Works Department and Director Kevin Murray for the tree removal work performed at River Road Dog Park, and for starting in the enclosure versus elsewhere in the park. There was a substantial amount of dry wood in the trees. It should be noted they did an excellent job pruning the live trees to maintain as much shade as possible. Thank you, Kevin. I'm here tonight to offer an enhancement to the appearance of the dog park. I have show and tell.
Mr. Roden, if you just move that up a little bit so we can actually get you move that up so we can get your show and tell.
Right here?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Actually, I think
yeah.
that'll work. Okay.
So as I said, I'm here to offer an enhancement to the appearance of the dog park. Over time, people have left a mismatched collection of water bowls that get scattered around the old watering sump. Before the tree removal, there were stumps there that gave a little bit of raised height. It was a perfect place to put water bowls. I'd like to donate to the township a one-of-a-kind, custom-designed, fabricated dog water table. Its versatile features offer a clean look, water-resistant materials, concentration of all water bowls in one location. That's one of the best features of this. So, as I said, the old watering stump, they all more or less congregated around that one area. Water bowls could be an issue in the park when it's all grass. We're not all grass at this point. Someday we will be all grass. Best place, I believe, is to have a unit such as this where it's all concentrated. The 4 water bowls hold 88 ounces each and are stainless steel. If you accept this donation for the dog park, I'll provide extra bowls to dog owners to rotate a clean bowl in for soil bowls. The custom nature of the water table provide for portability, semi-permanent installation. With the planned reseating of the dog park, portability is a positive feature. I would appreciate your serious consideration in accepting my piece of sculpture, the dog park. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roden. I profess I'm not an expert on the operation of the dog park. I'll defer to Kevin Murray, and maybe Kevin, you want to discuss with Neil. This looks like a great offer, and I certainly do appreciate it, but I do want to hear from Neil Mastrobuono, who's our rec director, to see if this is a positive, if there's any downside, if there's issues. So Mr. Roden, love the offer, and I'll suggest that you leave it here.
Okay.
And Kevin, if you could talk with Neil.
Yep.
And you guys can make really, I'll leave it in your, I think we have the commitment from the Township Committee to leave it in your hands and then to coordinate with Mr. Roden on the placement of this generous offer.
Sir.
Okay, and Robin, as a former rec director, questions, concerns, do you like it, do you not like it, how does it work?
I'll discuss with Kevin.
Okay.
And then we'll get back to it.
Okay, Mr. Roden, thank you very much. Once again, we look forward to seeing you here. Thank you for your participation and for the offer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
There are 2 longer legs also that have points on them that it was semi-permanent, it can be driven down into the ground, 2 longer legs, 2 ground, and or concrete potential.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you, Mr. Roden. Yes.
Hi, everybody. My first time at one of these.
Well, welcome.
Yeah. My name is Dennis Laniak. Last name is spelled Loniak. I live on 15 High Pond in the Wood Duck Pond section of the hills, and I am a 25-year Bedminster resident. I'm here on behalf of the dog park also, and Kevin, I think you know who I am, just through email. I've had some, I wouldn't say extensive, but some ongoing email communication with Neil and Kevin about the park. And I first started expressing my concerns about 1.5 years ago. And I think I'm looking at not more, something like this is, really terrific. My feeling and, where I've come to with this is that the dog park needs an entire kind of a beautification project. It does look kind of dumpy. There are some absolutely beautiful dog parks parks in the area that I know that people are very proud of. There's some basic needs I think that we have to make this better. I know that the seating, is planned. That's great. We've had grass in there before, which unfortunately, every time it would rain, it would turn to mud. And I fear kind of like that happening again. The gravel that was put down last year, granted, it's not aesthetically pleasing, but from a functional perspective, it worked great. Drains easily. The dogs don't, it doesn't stick to the dogs,
And then, Mr. Lonick, just to be clear, you're talking about the River Road dog.
Oh, yeah, not Burn Mills.
Burnt Mills has its own issues.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a much longer conversation about Burnt Mills.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess in short, I actually gave a list of things that I thought would help improve the dog park. And, with all due respect, I think what I was receiving back was just kind of like maintenance items as opposed to improvements or beautification. There's a lot of people that go to the dog park. Since I've retired, I go there once or twice a day, every day, and there's a lot of use there. Did anybody here have a dog?
Great.
Yeah, I think between all of us, there's a lot of dog owners.
Has anybody ever gone to the dog park?
No.
Yep.
Yeah, you're familiar.
Well, I'm only there at night because my dog doesn't have a good time at the dog park. She kind of gets bombarded and it doesn't really work for her. So I can only go there when no one else is there. The big dogs are really rough on her. She doesn't enjoy her time.
No. Yeah, that happens. I'm not going to comment on the behavior of the dogs, but
But we have lots of hike and bike trails that we love to go on, so it's okay.
Yeah, sure. And I just think that given the exposure, with the community, the amount of people that come to the park all the time, my experience is, I don't like dogs that are badgering my dog. I think the dog population is very well behaved and well controlled. You have a dust up every so often, but I think you're going to get that when you have dogs running around and energy levels go up. But all in all, I think the dog owners take care of those situations quite rapidly. I was going to make a suggestion that if possible, I've talked to a number of people that go to the dog park, is to have a separate meeting with owners of dogs that frequent the dog park, with maybe Neil and whoever might need to be there, and talk about the kind of things that we would like to see to make it, number one, more functional, more pleasing to the eye, and of course, I know that there's obviously money involved here. I know the dog park owners have said they would be willing to contribute, either a GoFundMe or something like that. This thing is great, but there's no water. We have to bring water in all the time, and that makes for empty plastic bottles and the cleanliness also. If somebody doesn't keep after this, and I know there have been some people that said there were complaints about the 5 plastic chairs and the bench or whatever, but there's no place to sit. Those 5 chairs have created such a feeling of, good feeling amongst the people that everybody has a chance to sit down and talk. So anyway, I guess that's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Loniak. Your recommendation is not without precedent. We've actually convened with DPW and the rec department in the past. That was with Committeeman Stevenson when we were looking at replacing the fencing and what would be the appropriate height of the fencing. So what I'm going to recommend is give your contact information to Ms. Ray, and one of the benefits of being in attendance from the Township Committee when we're at these meetings and others aren't, is that we get to give assignments to the Township Committee members who are not here. So Committeeman Stevenson was involved in the prior improvements at the dog park. And Gina Fernandez is our recreation liaison. So I'm going to recommend, I guess I'm mayor, so I can do more than recommend,
Yes.
right? So we'll ask them to work with Neil and Kevin and set up a meeting with you. I imagine Mr. Roden would like to attend as well.
And there's about maybe
He's
2 or
nodding,
3 others
yeah.
that regular attend.
Yeah, so put together,
And we
put together a
put
group,
an agenda together also.
preferably Bedminster residents.
Oh, also,
Okay.
absolutely.
And let's set something up. And then we'll hear from both DPW and the rec department and our township committee members. And they can report back and see if there's a consensus that we can reach, and hopefully we can.
And I think too, it's thinking long-term as opposed to just short-term things. You know,
There's
getting
a
getting
number.
a budget in there for,
There's a number of programs that we hope to implement at River Road Park over the next several years. There's a
That would be good to know,
multi-year, there's multi-year improvements, and perhaps some of the elements that you just discussed may be incorporated into that. So thank you for your comments.
Thank you for listening.
And Robin, if you will coordinate with Kevin and Neil, Gina and Doug, and set something up.
Got
Okay,
Okay,
thank you. We are still in public comment, and there are still folks here.
Thanks so much.
This is one opportunity for public comment. After we get through this, we move on to exciting ordinances and resolutions.
100 of them.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm Kelly Rakovic, and this is my
I'm
husband.
Admir Rakovic.
I'm sorry, with your first name?
First name Admir, A-D-M-I-R.
And the spelling of the last name?
Sure, it's R-A-K-O-V-I-C.
Okay, and the street on which you live?
Yes, we live actually right across the street. It's 121 Somerville Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, so we live on Somerville Road, and we fell in love with the area. We had lived in the hills prior to that, and then when we bought our home on Somerville Road, we had looked into the area of trees and nature that were buffering the area behind our home and our neighbors and the office buildings that are behind. And we had looked into also the natural buffers going along the state road for safety reasons, so that our backyard would be protected from, any types of ways to get back there from the main road and the state road. Also just for the feel that we loved how it's a historic district. We love how there are natural buffers in the current ordinance. And so when we bought our home and fell in love with it, and our children also, Caitlin and Adela, who attend Bedminster schools, we just love the feel of having like privacy, safety, also, as far as like water as well, so what happened was, like, we've been very happy since we bought the home with having the natural buffers, having the community with the historical feel that it has, and having all the things that the current ordinance has. So what brought it to our concern is that this proposal or this amendment for the land use plan that was proposed, and I believe that was signed on June 20th, I believe that was a Saturday. That Tuesday, we noticed that a huge significant amount of trees that were 5 inches or greater, that had live leaves on, many of them, were just totally uprooted, with a huge opening to the state road where basically the truck just went in and knocked down all the nature in its path. There was no reason like for ash trees or helping the community in that kind of way. It was just knocking down all different, trees, bushes, wildlife, right behind our homes in our backyard. Actually, there are 2 spots that now open that whole area to anyone that could pull over on the state road, could have access almost like through a dirt road practically, that it knocked down this pathway and took down all the nature, in its way. So that concerned us because again, under the current ordinance, when we bought our home, we were very thankful that there are these natural buffers and, certain rules for people taking down trees, even if it's their land and all of that. So we were concerned, so I did reach out to the town municipal building and I spoke to Janine DeLeon, the land use board secretary. And I did speak with her. She listened to, my concerns. It didn't seem anyone was aware of the fact that I thought maybe they were aware or not. But at the same time, it was a few days after this amendment was signed by the builder proposing, to amend our current ordinance. So when I did talk to Janine, as I understand it, Robin, who I also have spoken with, Robin, Ray, and I believe Kevin, had come out to our home, and I wish I had been home. I was at work, because otherwise I could have shown my husband's and my concerns more specifically. Because if you just walk back or even if you think you've walked the whole thing, there are just like certain parts of it that are concerning. There's also a huge hole and gap that and also the uprooting of the trees could cause a lot of even extra water damage or, possibly even more water flooding into our area. Also, so anyhow, we appreciate Kevin and Janine and Robin coming out to look at it. But again, I feel like if we had been home, I could have really shown more specifically the concerns, the size of diameter of the trees we're referring to, and these spaces that we're concerned about with the state road. So anyhow, after they came out, they had sent to Paul Ferrero, the engineer, some pictures that they took when they were there, as I understand it. I think Paul might have said he had gone to the site maybe a different time, but I'm not clear on whether he actually went to the site or just had pictures. But anyhow, so Janine had sent a message that he wrote to her, to me, and it was basically saying that if trees are less than 5 inches in diameter, a property owner has the right to take down the trees without, I guess, permission or permit. And also that he said that because of that, and also he explained that they were digging several ditches. That's right, thanks, honey. Yeah, testing pits to look for a stormwater design, which sounds to us like they're already, planning what this amendment that's been brought forward by the building company. Seems like they're already planning, something, but it just worries us that already the first step of it that hasn't even been brought yet to be approved, the amendment, that they're already just going in a way that to us was shocking, because all of a sudden, and my husband went out and took measurements in pictures of trees that were definitely 5 inches or more. I mean, even 8 inches, some are 10 inches, and they had leaves and roots. It was just, and then our concern is, and again, it's just the feel under the ordinance that I feel like our neighborhood felt protected by these natural buffers, by any setbacks, by, things to keep us safe, privacy, flooding and water issues, all these types of things. Also, this is a very concerning thing to us, this amendment that they're proposing, that they're going to be bringing in front of the land use board. And my husband has copies, if you could pass them out as to what we're referring to.
You don't have to pass out, familiar with it.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we pass it to anyone who's not familiar with it?
Sure, but
Okay.
if you could move on with your
Okay,
comments.
so basically, we're concerned because, as you see, like, the one that's being proposed on the 29th is all just the black typewritten, information. All the red crossouts and additions to us are things that a builder, that's to the builder's advantage of the office buildings behind us. If they're expanding or coming up with this project that might even have the stormwater design and additions to the already existing office buildings that have been fine, it seems the way they are, but to expand on them and be, and then a lot of the things that they've been crossing out and adding have to do with 3-story buildings, things that used to protect having it only be 1 or 2 stories to match the feel of the homes in the residential areas, having it be conform to a historic district, having it conform to having green. Like, there's one part that says, remain largely undeveloped and green, and it says any significant portions of the parcels adjoining this existing village remain largely undeveloped and green. That's all crossed out. So when a lot of us, I believe, that have moved to Bedminster, I feel we all have moved here with our hearts falling in love with the town that does have natural buffers, even if there is some development, but there's still where these ordinances to protect the feel of a historic district, having nature just feeling like respected in having this type of provisions to help us and protect us from having the town be the way that we all I feel admire. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but that's a lot of the character that we feel when we chose our home and this town, and we've appreciated everything about our town, about Bedminster. But this is just something concerning, because it just seems like once the building companies start pushing for all these red line changes and red line additions, and when the residents just receive a copy, like when I first saw just the black type version of this copy, when you don't actually see all these changes, when you do see them, at least to us, it's like it's a bit alarming and a worry and a concern, because once something like this would possibly be approved, it just seems like more and more Bedminster, all of the natural green areas could be removed, buffers and setbacks could be changed, and I just think that it would definitely change almost like the feeling of safety, the charm, the protection of us from even like flooding and other various issues that certain building projects could bring about. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Okay,
But
so got your comments, understand them, and we appreciate them. Not only do we appreciate them, but we also support your comments regarding buffers and protecting the residential areas from the commercial development. The proposal that is being brought to the land use board is to change the zone to allow retail uses on that property as well. Those uses would be up along 206, not behind your property. Whatever they were doing out there, I don't know, but we did send Paul Ferrero out there. We did send our other inspectors out there. They looked at the trees. They looked at what was cleared. They did not find anything that would rise to a violation. Certainly, I encourage your husband to reach out to our construction officer or zoning officer or Mr. Ferrero himself. And if you can identify those trees that were clearly larger than permitted, should be taken down without a permit, let them know.
can I just comment to that real quick? I did get in touch with Kuzana Karas.
Susanna Pars.
Yeah, sorry, thanks for correcting me. She did send an email to myself and CC'd me on it to Paul, asking him to please reach back out based on his report, so my husband could send the pictures that he has with measurements of the trees and all the specific things that were, and also the opening that goes to the state road where you see a van go by. And
Right.
that's how the opening is larger than like a van going by. So those are the concerns we had, because we wanted to request that if they could even replant or put back trees and brush there along, those areas. But anyhow, he hadn't responded to me at this point yet, and also I had like other calls into him, so we are hoping to touch base. and
Yeah, so
show him.
Mr. Ferrara does have, his office hours in town are Thursday mornings.
Mhm.
So he will be here. You can certainly reach out to him, but I do encourage you to keep following him.
Yeah, and I
And
did-
then for your larger concerns going beyond the master plan amendment, but getting into the actual details and your concerns about buffers and setbacks and maintaining whatever does happen in the future at that property and how it's going to interact with the residential units or any areas currently residential dwellings. What I'm going to suggest is, once again, assigning tasks out, is that you or any of your neighbors who wish to speak and express your concerns, do so with Committeeman Hickey. Committeeman Hickey has been working with me and with our town planner, Frank Banish, and the municipal engineer on looking at ways in which we can keep those commercial buildings viable. Because right now, some of them aren't. And we want to maintain that the commercial base in Bedminster thrives. So there's opportunities there to improve what's up there along 206, and meanwhile protect what we do have along the buffer from that zone, and that zone is office research. So your property does back onto a commercial zone. And even your neighborhood, which is the VN2, is a commercial zone as well. So you do have businesses, and there's actually this planner had just actually sent me, unrelated to this, but sent me what the permitted use is in the VN zone. And your zone itself allows commercial operations. So your neighbor could easily, I'm not sure once again which house it is, but your neighbor could go to a commercial use and you'd be next to a commercial zone. So that is a zone you lived in. But I do want to put you in touch with Mr. Hickey so that as this whole plan develops, and actually we've already been talking about if there is going to be an expansion of the uses up on the ORV zone, up by 206, how we build into anything that might happen out there and provide enhanced setbacks and landscaping requirements, which aren't in there now. So you may think that that area right behind you is protected under some restrictions. I don't believe it is, but we want to build that into any future ordinance. So I do, if you can give your contact information, if you don't mind, if you're ready to meet with Mr. Hickey in the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
And you guys can coordinate and make sure that your concerns are built into any changes that may happen out there.
Yeah, because the other concern is if they do put things, retail along on the state road, like where would the parking lot be? Where would the entranceway be?
That will all be.
Would there be buffers to the state
that
road
will
so
all
we're
be
not
a-
staring at that from our backyard?
That will all be,
and feeling unsafe?
that's what we're
Yeah.
trying to accomplish right now.
Right.
All right, so you'll have your opportunity, sit directly with Mr. Hickey, and we'll make sure that your concerns are addressed.
Am I forgetting anything else?
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have your information already, so
Okay.
we'll give it to a committee to pick you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Vonna.
Okay. Mic is still open.
I'm Sarah Nathan, Somerville Road, also neighbor,
Okay.
same area, Kelly and Amir.
I'm sorry, could you just, you're
Slow
just a
down?
little more slow down,
Yeah.
slow down. First name and last name.
Sarah Nathan's, Somerville Road,
Okay.
and it's really just the same concerns about the trees being taken down back there. Personally, hadn't been back there that much, my children had, but it is rather noticeable, I'll be honest with you. I can see just gaps out to the street. So it's very happy to hear that you guys are going to be looking into it, because there should be some certain buffers, whether it's big
trees, I know there's usually very specific, so you can get into when you're doing those kinds of buffers so that it is adhered to. And then if they're looking, you said they're not looking to do commercial in that particular area, it's later down the street.
Up towards 206.
So yeah, I know we're mixed use because there's all around us, there's dentists and, but to have commercial or retail right behind would be really concerning. And honestly, I don't know how they'd be able to pull in. If you're coming around that bend, you couldn't pull in there pretty easily. It probably would cause accidents. Anyway, I also probably would like to speak with Mr. Hickey.
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Right. The more, the better. The more input we have, certainly.
That strip of us, there's like 4 or 5 houses that would be readily impacted, and there is a ton of nature back there. We did have a bear a couple of years ago. There are foxes, and so the more that we tear down any of that area, the more that they're going to be invading people's homes. That'll also be a concern.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Nathans. And once again, if you can get your contact information to Robin or to Colin.
Yep.
And
Robin has it like.
have-
I have Sarah's contact information.
Thank you.
okay, thank you, Ms. Nathans. Microphone is still there. Ms. Ray, do we have anyone participating via Zoom?
No, I have no one online, Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
You just have somebody popping up now,
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
really?
almost on cue.
That was amazing.
Mr. Shirley, you are joining us in public comment. So I just had asked if there's any members of the public either remaining in our chambers or participating via Zoom. Now is the opportunity to make your public comment or ask a question. And if you're participating via Zoom and you wish to make a public comment, take your cursor, scroll down to the bottom, click reactions, click raise hand, and Ms. Ray will put you into queue for public comment. And Mr. Shirley, if you're here for the utility discussion, that will be discussed more in depth towards the end of the meeting during old business. So Robin, if there's no further public comment.
No raised hand, Mayor.
No raised hand, okay. We are ending public comment for the night. We will proceed to permits and raffles. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 permits and raffles to review tonight. First is social fair permit to benefit Children's Specialized Hospital Foundation on June 27, 2023, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Next is a social fair permit to benefit Hope Through Education, a fund for better futures, Inc., on August 10, 2023, from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Hampton Farm Golf Club. Next is a social affair permit to benefit Trinitas Foundation on September 26, 2023, at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Next is the social fair permit to benefit the Brooke Healy Foundation on September 18, 2023, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Next is an on-premise 50/50 raffle to benefit the Timothy J. Piazza Memorial Foundation, Inc., on August 7, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. And last is an on-premise merchandise raffle to benefit the Timothy J. Piazza Memorial Foundation, Inc., on August 7, 2023, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Fiddler's Elbow Country Club. Any questions or comments regarding those permits and raffles? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Monthly report discussion by subcommittee chairs. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, all. Just a quick update. Board of Health did meet last week. I know we had some very exciting septic applications, but I'll instead review the fact that one of the topics the county brought up was that they are going to upgrade their reporting systems so that we have more access and more user-friendly data for things like health inspections, restaurant grades, complaints, and the like. So that will be coming online later this year.
So one of the issues that you and I had discussed, I think this was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, is whether or not the restaurant ratings and the inspections are available And if it's recommended from the county, to highlight
Right,
those ratings.
right.
Has there been anything from the county?
That's part of the discussion.
part of that.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Because right now, the reporting, trying to extract that data is difficult. They're moving to a new system. So it makes it more available to the public, to the board, to everybody. So try to figure out what to get online, how to link it from our website so that it is there for the public.
Okay,
So, and library, we have a meeting tomorrow night.
tomorrow. I will not be at.
Okay, so I'll cover that
You'll
and
cover
report
that?
out at the next meeting. That's all.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you. Committeewoman Mareski.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Real quick for me as well, we had an environmental commission meeting on June 7th. And basically, they just let us know that the BAT night for this year is September 15th, again with Leah Wills, who did a fabulous job last year. And we do have a rain date of September 22nd. Reptile/movie night, which is a combo with EC and the rec department, is scheduled for August 25th. I'm not sure what the movie's going to be, but one of our EC members has a friend of hers who's going to be bringing some of her snakes and bugs and things to show the kids that night. So that will be pretty exciting. So put that in your calendar. And they are still looking into getting a raptor or an eagle. And so we're still looking into a raptor night. And that's all. Oh, and Rutgers is still hopefully passing out some free native plants that we're hoping to use in town some places. I know Robin's a little concerned about some of these plants going to seed and running amok. So we're going to see which plants are still available and to use the best that we can. That will be little to no maintenance, and I totally understand that. We were going to have a JVH meeting tomorrow, but due to a family emergency, the meeting has been postponed. And that's all I have for you guys at this time.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start with something that was certainly current, which was the Land Use Board. And there is a Land Use Board public hearing on a master plan amendment that was discussed with our neighbors from Somerville Road. And the master plan discussion will focus on allowing retail uses in the ORV, that's the Office Research Village Zone. And the two main properties subject to the ORV zone are certainly the advanced property on 206 and also the Crossroads Office Park down off of Burt Mills Road. So those are both in the ORV. The pending change, excuse me, to the master plan would really tweak the ORV to allow some element of retail uses to support the office uses and research uses that are already in the ORV zone. So I noticed that there was a lot of changes, but really that's the tantamount change, which is really allowing for retail component once again to support office uses. I've seen many articles across the state where these office buildings are facing these stresses, and we're looking at these empty parking lots and empty buildings. And one of the ways of sustaining the viability of those office properties is to increase and have some element of retail, certainly not changing them into shopping centers, but providing some opportunities, whether it's cafes or dry cleaners or something along those lines that we just don't have. And if you provide it, it makes the properties more viable, more attractive to the tenants, and we don't need dark office buildings in Bedminster. But at the same time, we want to make sure that the protections are in place, and not only in place, but maybe enhanced through this process. So that's exactly, Community Hickey and I have been having that discussion, as I mentioned earlier, with our planner, and we can hear directly from those residents, and to the extent we can build those concerns in and make them more robust than they are now, then that's a great opportunity to do so. So Colin, thank you for volunteering
Or being volunteered.
or being volunteered for that position.
No, it's a good thing. Let's get the
and-
residents' input.
And really, that's about it, what we have for the land use board. It's really relatively quiet summer for the land use board currently. That always may be subject to change. Farmers market. So we've had four farmers markets. So the first Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, we had 1,400 attendees at the farmers market. The following week, we're about 1,060. Now, 1,060 last year probably would have been a record. This year, it was second best or second most attended until the following week when we had 1,100 attendees. And then last week, we had 1,106 attendees. So we've been consistently well in excess of where we were last year. The parking situation has been smooth. The contributions from Public Works, Kevin, that walkway is a godsend. No one's, once again, it's been safe, but we also have a lot of volunteers. I do want to thank DPW and Neil National Buono. I do have to note that while we've had very good attendance after the initial day, I do note that during the initial day, Officer Cooper from Bedminster PD was doing Coffee with a Cop. So the fact that Coffee with a Cop with Officer Matthew Cooper was our record attendance, it could be a coincidence or not. So just putting it out there.
Maybe
So
we should
Chief,
have them do it again, see what happens.
yeah, we could compare it to if we do Coffee with the Chief to see
Yes, that would be
to see how that rivals Coffee with Officer Cooper.
How about cocktails with the chief?
Has to be later.
Cider
Cider with the chief?
Cider with the Chief.
I'm not placing that bet out.
Okay. All right.
Officer Cooper did note that we were lower the second week without him. He did take some credit for that.
But and once again, the police department has been coming by routinely during the market to park, walk through, say hello to everyone. It's love seeing that. Just a great opportunity to interact with our residents. So that's always great. Just a lot of other exciting things going on, but I'm going to hold off on that till we have our July meeting. And we don't have any updates from Gina or Doug, so we will move on to the administrator's report.
It's been a busy 2 weeks, starting off with the primary elections last week, or 2 weeks ago now, which was an uneventful primary election. We were trying out the new machines. Everything seemed to go smoothly with the machines. It's just getting everybody up to speed. We had lieutenant interviews on June 7th. June 8th, we had a department head meeting where all the department heads shared department head updates and shared what's going on. There were some collaborations that came out of that, which was terrific. We are reviewing all the job descriptions. They're all due on the 23rd, and we roll out performance reviews on July 1st, so everybody's on board. June 9th, you had your Bedminster School Civic Day with the Bedminster School 8th grade social studies teacher Ryan McCoy in the 8th grade. Thanks to Kevin Murray and from DPW and Chief Bernardo from the police department. We had some great presentations, and of course the Q&A with the mayor was so much fun. Great questions.
They were great questions, right? That was great. It was very exciting.
We also conducted administrative assistant interviews. On June 15th, Caitlin and I both attended the Somerset County Municipal Clerks meeting, which was really informative in preparation for the upcoming elections. It was a team from the Homeland Security Office, Cyber Security Bureau from the state, what to do in the event of power outage, any sort of failure, catastrophe, active shooter. So it just put some protocols in place and really got us thinking about some things. So great exercises. And then June 15th, we went out to rebid the community garden, and the bid came in so high, which exceeded the engineer's estimate incredibly. And then working on some grant reporting for the ARP for the firefighters grant. And we kicked off our Healthy Walking Challenge with employees on Monday. We did this last year. This is a 6-week Healthy Challenge program. It's very competitive. We have 26 employees signed up this year, which is a record. So.
And if my recollection is correct, it was between you and Officer Veltri last year?
Yes.
And who ended up
I
winning?
got Veltri won. I got second.
You think he put the tractor on his dog?
Yeah. So it was great that we have 26 employees signed up. So says a lot.
That's great.
And that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you. Okay, we're heading into ordinances. And we do not have any ordinances to introduce tonight. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ordinances for public hearing tonight. So we'll start with ordinance number 2023-005, an ordinance appropriating $10,000 for the Shared Municipal Court Facility capital improvements. Ms. Ray, do you just want to give us a brief description of ordinance 2023-005?
Yes, Mayor. So we receive a portion of funding from each of the municipalities that are participating in the shared court for capital improvements throughout the year, whether it be carpeting or sound system or walls or whatever it is that we need to do. So this just replenishes our fund in the capital improvement program for the shared municipal court.
Okay, I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-005.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so comments or questions from Township Committee? Is Robin or Kevin, or anything specific at this point proposed for the improvements?
We're looking at HVAC upgrades, but there is a energy rebate program, which we do the HVAC and the lighting in the building with 50% cost match. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't see us having all the funding for that until 2024, but this is just
And we're making this ordinance tonight, and if we approve the ordinance, how is it, excuse me, contingent on the other municipalities participating?
That's correct.
Okay.
Everybody has a proportionate share based on the rubric that we currently use.
Okay.
And they all approve of the HVAC upgrade? Do they have to, or did we just tell them what we're doing?
We tell them what we're doing,
Okay.
and they understand our needs, we explain to them upfront,
Okay.
so they know this is coming.
Yeah, and that is discussed at the Shared Municipal Court Advisory Committee. And so in the beginning of the year, we sort of, this is what we pre-checked for the improvements. There's some discussion, and then once
Everybody agrees.
then everyone agrees, and-
Okay.
but they do have to take it back. Any further questions or comments from Township Committee?
No.
Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. Anyone here attending in person have a question or a comment regarding ordinance number 2023-005? Once again, if you're participating by Zoom, take your cursor, scroll down, click on reactions, raise hand, Ms. Ray will put you into queue. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-005.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-005.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Zareski,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacob.
Aye,
Thank you.
it's one down.
Smoke them if you got them.
Next, ordinance number 2023-006. This ordinance authorizes the funding of a 2023 capital project for street lighting upgrades in an amount of $25,000. Mr. Murray, Director Murray, Want to just walk us through what the lighting upgrades are for?
Yes, sir, this is our standard $25,000 increase, which we're probably not looking to increase moving forward. It's typically would give us 5 light bulbs to replace, and we have 121 at the meeting, so it's just on a 25-year-ish replacement. I'm looking at, through the same vendor with the facility upgrades, a similar light by a different vendor. I'm waiting on a sample to come, so we can put it up and see what kind of feedback we get from the residents. It's not a 100% match, but I could probably get 5 for the 25,000 versus 3.
Where would you, and do you have a specific locations that you plan to place these
At some
lighting
point in
fixtures?
time, the public works took out 3 that are missing on Robertson Drive, so I'd like to get those back in place.
Okay. Since, once again, those are just the lighting fixtures, the poles are still in
No,
place?
it's the
Oh, that's the poles
Pole.
and the
The whole
fixtures?
thing.
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be new poles and new light fixtures.
I will,
All in the
I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2023-006, which I probably should have done before I started asking questions. But nevertheless,
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
okay. Questions or comments from Township Committee regarding ordinance number 2023-006?
Just happy that they'll go in Robertson.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit of a dark area there since those ones came down a few years ago,
Yeah,
so.
one that's actually facing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'll get 5 poles
Potentially.
and fixtures, and then you're going to look at some older poles, take them down. So you'll take care of the 3 on Robertson, then 2 others you'll just
I
swap out?
have 2 other miscellaneous ones that need to be replaced as well.
Okay.
But there's also funding from last year, so I'd like to have 2 on stock because landscapers hit them and it happens. And as they get 25 years old, the base is rotted out.
And primarily the poles that are owned and operated by the township are concentrated in the hills, whereas those poles that might be out in, you know, Bedminster Village or elsewhere, those are JCP&L operated? Okay.
So our roads to the upper hills, the single family, and Robertson.
Okay. Any further questions or comments from Township Committee? We'll open the discussion up for public comment. So once again, any member of the public wishing to make a comment on ordinance number 2023-006, come on up to the, excuse me, to the microphone, or participating by Zoom, take your cursor down, click reactions, raise hand, Ms. Ray will put you into queue. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-006.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-006.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Marevsky,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacob.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is ordinance number 2023-007, an ordinance appropriating $25,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for various facility improvements in Bedminster Township. Kevin, I'm looking at you again.
Yes, sir. This is, once again, we're putting into the pot for the some HVAC upgrades. There's a PD bathroom upgrade that needs to get done this year that was recommended by the Department of Corrections. So just nothing major, just minor projects that we need to wrap up.
Great. And the ordinance itself says facility improvements, including but not limited to the following structures: the police building, the DPW building, town hall building, and various rental buildings, which includes, does that include the property up on the rental building? One thing I can think of is the repeater shed.
On Sly Mountain.
Do we have any other rental buildings?
We rent out the art association, but I believe their lease outside of the we still do the permit for the elevator. Outside,
Okay.
so I'm not sure. Okay, I think it's generic.
Once again, I probably should have opened the public hearing before I started asking those questions, but I will take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-007.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Any questions from Township Committee regarding ordinance number 2023-007?
Do we have the township building in the queue for getting painted at any point?
So next year, it's in my capital for next year.
Okay,
We have, part of that is we do have some roof leaks that we are going to replace some party board. Jason's reached out to, our foreman's reached out to the manufacturer because it has a 50-year warranty. So we're trying to see what kind of feedback we get back from them and see if they want to, at least the product for us, so we want to purchase the replacement. But not holding my breath on that, unfortunately, because they say it's installer error. But there are some things that we want to address this year as housekeeping items, but I would like to do next year.
okay, thanks.
So we're good now.
So there are some elements, so some improvements that are built into this $25,000 ordinance. The painting will be next year.
Good. I need it.
Okay, we'll open the discussion on ordinance 2023-007 to the public for public comment. If you're participating
Seeing none.
via Zoom,
Seeing none.
let's move on. Okay, we'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-007.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I will take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-007.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, ordinance 2023-008. This ordinance appropriates $115,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for the 2022 pavement management plan. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-008.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
So
you.
now I will ask, Kevin,
Yes, Mayor. So.
what does this mean, 2022 pavement management plan?
Yes, so this was funding that was appropriated last year, but was not put into the ordinance for road improvements. So that's why you'll see 2022, and then down the line, you'll see a 2023.
See, I like
Falls down
asking,
to-
I like asking these questions that we already know the answers to.
So this falls down to the roads that we mentioned before that we'll be paving. This round would be Brady Cemetery, Deerhaven, Elm, Fairview, Matthews, and Ski Hill. Old Stonehouse was on my original list, however, PSE&G is waiting on a road opening permit from the state. They told me they're not going to run their gas line in our road, it'll be along the shoulder. I don't trust them, so I'm not gonna pave the road.
Good move. Good move, Kevin. Good move.
So we're gonna hold off on that, the road's not in terrible shape.
Don't trust your utilities. I think that's fine advice.
I will be walking all these roads tomorrow with Shafana, who is the Morris County Co-op vendor. And then once I have a timeline, I'll reach out for the committee, and we'll make proper notifications to the residents.
And realistically, what do you think the timing would be to actually start work?
I don't know what their schedule is. If they're slammed, it could be fall. They may be at the fall point at this time, or they could be, hey, no one's really got the money in place, we can come in July.
Great.
So I'll pass that along to you, and then we'll make sure we proper notification to all the residents on the list.
Excellent. Any further questions from Township Committee?
No.
We'll open up ordinance 2023-008 for public comment, and microphone is there. You know how to use Zoom. Ms. Ray,
No comments.
no comments. Take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-008.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I will take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-008.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye. Next, ordinance number 2023-009. This ordinance appropriates $19,500 from the Capital Improvement Fund for mobile data terminals, MDTs.
Wait.
We're out of
We
order.
skipped one.
I skipped one?
Yeah.
Oh, nine.
Oh, geez, you're right. I'm sorry. Ordinance number 2023-009, an ordinance appropriating $25,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for the vehicle replacement program for the Bedminster Township Police Department. Chief Bernardo. Wait, thank you. Thank you, Committeewoman Morosky. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-009.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Chief Bernardo.
For a patrol car.
Any further questions or comments from the Township Committee?
Hope it's a good one.
Is it a good one?
The patrol car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could find one on a lot, yes.
Jeez.
What do you think realistically is the lead time?
Doing our office manager, he gets creative. He's calling down in South Jersey. He'll find one. You kind of just got to take what's on there. Thank you.
So then you have to find the vehicle, then paint it, or put this.
No, it's painted, but for example, you might find one, but it already has wiring in it, but we already have the wiring from an old car, so that's an extra expense, so it's not really feasible, so it's hard to find one, that exactly fits your needs.
Chief, how long does it take once you find one to then outfit it so that it's ready for the road?
If it's on the lot?
Yeah.
About a week.
Oh, so even
not bad.
putting the equipment in and everything?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just a
wow.
swap over.
Okay, wow.
And getting the signage on, getting the Bedminster PD sign on, or the whatever.
That's like an hour.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
Oh,
great.
Just gotta find the car.
Great connections.
Just there you go. If there's no further comments from Township Committee, we'll open up for public comment. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-009.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
We'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-009.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I won't put my mark next to 10 until we finish it. Okay. So next is ordinance number 2023-010. This ordinance appropriates $19,500 from the Capital Improvement Fund for mobile data terminals for the Bedminster Township Police Department. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-010.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Chief Bernardo.
It's just for 3 MPTs are the computers the officers have in the patrol cars, and this is for 3. We've been replacing the last 2 or 3 years because all of our MPTs are about 10 years old, and this is probably the last installment when we'll have them all replaced.
And are the new ones, is there compatibility issues? I mean, I'm asking questions that really Colin should be asking, so, Colin, why don't you ask the lead technical question?
You just asked a question, it's perfect. No, yeah, go.
Same manufacturer,
Motorola.
it's a Panasonic,
Oh,
they're
Panasonic.
Toughbooks, but these are tablets that have a functionality where you can take it out, kind of like an iPad if you want to bring it into a scene, take video, pictures, things of that nature, so. Nice.
And you said about 10-year lifespan expected?
I mean, we keep them for about 10 years.
Yeah.
That's why they call them Toughbooks.
Any further questions from Township Committee? We'll open up ordinance 2023-010 to the public for comment.
Seeing none, Mayor.
Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-010.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-010.
So moved. What was I supposed to say?
Second.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry.
Roll call.
vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye. Next, ordinance number 2023-011. An ordinance appropriating $10,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for various equipment for the Bedminster Township Police Department. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2023-011.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Chief?
Well, I don't have an exhaustive list, but we are hiring 2 new officers, and part of this includes lockers, firearms, and vests, or uniforms, things of that nature. But I'm sure there's a lot more in this 10,000. I just don't have the exhaustive list.
That's fun. Questions from Township Committee?
Happy to have 2 new officers.
And we'll open up ordinance 2023-011 for public comment.
Seeing none, Mayor.
Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-011.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-011.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is ordinance number 2023-012. This ordinance appropriates $200,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for the 2023 Pavement Management Plan. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance 2023-012.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Director Murray.
No updates from my last update, sir.
No, so this is the 2023 Pavement Management Plan. This is money certainly that we discussed at length during the budget cycle. And these are the roads that are set, not necessarily the carryovers from 2022, but money to be expended on the 2023 Pavement Management Plan. So questions or comments? We're waiting on Paul Ferrero on any grant applications or to hear from DOT on accepting grants?
Yes, we are. At the last meeting, the Township Committee approved an application to apply for a local funding project from the DOT. And then later on in tonight's meeting for consideration is a resolution to approve an application for the fiscal year 2024 local aid grant that we have been typically been recipients of the past several years.
Okay.
Paul will be submitting that tomorrow to this Save It, administering grants electronically program.
And between the earlier ordinance we approved and this ordinance, we already have built into the pavement management plan some of the grants that have already been awarded to us.
Those have already been decided upon, and this 2023 would be Riverwood and Tuttle as the DOT application that was part of this plan.
Any further questions or comments from Township Committee? Seeing none, we'll open up ordinance 2023-012 for public comment.
Not seeing any narrow line.
Okay, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-012.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-012.
Aye.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
2 left, Mayor.
Home stretch.
Next, ordinance number 2023-013. This is an ordinance appropriating $132,500 from the Capital Improvement Fund for funds previously received by New Jersey American Water, or actually from New Jersey American Water, in lieu of half-road width pavement restoration of Ski Hill Road and Old Stonehouse Road in the amount of $132,500. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-013.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Director Murray, back to you.
So this was the funding that we received in lieu of paving. As I said earlier, Old Stonehouse we pushed off. However, our entire cost for Old Ski Hill is roughly $177,000 based off my estimates. So that'll actually encompass all of the funding, which we have to use by the end of this year as for our auditor. So I'll make sure we get that done just in case the PSCG is dragging this project or the state's pushing off the project.
So So how does it work? We have 132,500 from New Jersey American Water.
Correct.
And if we defer the restoration of Ski Hill and Old Stone House, but right now you're only thinking Old Stone House is the one that would be deferred.
Correct.
Okay. So
But
that would be,
however, I'll use all of the funding on Ski Hill.
great. Okay, I think that answers my question.
So we'll make sure we use the funding so we don't put it back into, I believe Deb said miscellaneous revenue.
Yeah, then
We'll put
we-
it into our reserves right now.
And then we have to pull it out again.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So I'll make sure we use it this year. So we'll do this again.
Okay, great. Any further questions from Township Committee? We'll open up ordinance number 2023-0134 for public comment.
I'm not seeing any comment online there.
You're getting faster with that, Robin. I'll take a motion to approve public hearing, close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-013.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-013.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Zareski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Ordinance number 2023-014, an ordinance appropriating $16,000 from the Capital Improvement Fund for the Motorola UHF repeaters for the Bedminster Township Office of Emergency Management. I'll take a motion to open the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-014.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, who do I turn to?
I've got a little bit.
Okay, that's what, all right, who wants?
Let Robin go first.
Okay, Robin, you go first.
Okay, so the Office of Emergency Management manages our repeater shed, which is located at the top of, off of Washington Valley Road, where the cell tower and water towers are, and the repeaters have reached end of life. The repeaters send signals to our emergency services, and the OEM came to us saying we need to replace these. So the Township Committee during budget session determined that it was a necessary expense, and this appropriates $16,000 to replace the repeaters in the shed.
So, just so, and this is for everyone out there, the county dispatch sends out a signal to Bedminster. Then the signal gets relayed up to this repeater shed, which then sends out the message through UHF radio to our first responders in Bedminster, and also
Pottersville, which is serves Tewksbury, and also Peapack Gladstone.
okay. And is there some contribution from those other municipalities to
We
the
are
repeaters?
working on a shared services agreement.
Burnsville, I believe, also.
Oh, really? Burnsville also
So
uses?
that's a new one.
As a crossover, because I'm pretty sure that they utilize it to listen to Fire Region 1, which is trunking onto their conventional, but I'll confirm that.
So that's new.
Yeah.
And we were approached by Berners Township to sign on to use the shed as well. So that's still being, OEM is still analyzing.
So
that.
that's our repeater shed, and it's employed by Bedminster, Far Hills, Peapack and Gladstone, parts of Tewksbury, Burnsville, and Bernards.
And Millington doesn't need it? They've not approached us? Not Millington,
Berners Township is
Which
assessing
one?
it right now.
Martinsville?
no, Martinsville, thank
Yeah,
you.
they're on at least their fire's on a different channel than we are. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Because they're right over there.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say,
thought-
They're just
That's-
outside
that's a
Sunset
great
County,
point.
but they're on a different channel. The update that I have is I was told that the county is no longer going to force agencies to go to 700. However, once they're done updating the 500, they're not going to update it again. So this is their loophole, so they don't say that, we don't come and say we ALS rate this.
Right.
So I believe they're not going to update and support the 500 at some point in time, but for the near future, they're not going to strip it away. So
I think that's going to require a discussion for
Yeah.
another night,
I just-
because there's lots of questions that we
Right.
all have about that, so there's,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot at stake there.
But this is a separate investment. These are just the paging network, separate from
Yeah,
the,
correct, so, but
Right,
they're
right.
still gonna be viable moving
Yes.
forward for the
Yeah.
foreseeable future.
you would still need to make this investment regardless of what goes on with the 5 or the 700 transition. You still need the pagers and the network which this is supported by.
Yes, and this allows us to,
Yep, yep.
to hear responding units on our
Right,
pagers.
right,
So
right.
the only thing that would change is if we did go to 700, we'd have to look at changing the repeaters, whichever, then to the 700 to CrossFit.
So we started with Robin, we went to Kevin. Chief, you have any input on this one too?
No, I think they covered it also.
All right, thank you. Further questions from Township Committee?
Yep.
We'll open up the public hearing for public comment.
No comments, Mayor, online.
I'll take a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance number 2023-014.
So moved.
So moved.
Oh, second, sorry. You would think by the 10th we would have gotten this down, but we're all getting punchy.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'll take a motion to approve ordinance number 2023-014.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Moreski,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Mayor, I have an observation on how you pass your ordinances.
Please.
There is no requirement to make a motion to open it for public comment and then to make a motion to close it for public comment. Most towns do not do that. Under 4049-2, you could simply say, for example, on ordinance number 2023-0112, Ms. Ray, would you read the ordinance by title? After Ms. Ray reads the ordinance by title, you could say, public hearing is now open for comments or questions. Most of the time, nobody comes up. You say, seeing none, well, I have a motion to pass the ordinance. Second, roll call. So you cut out the motion to open and the motion to close. That's an unnecessary step that's not required by state statute. It's probably been done that way since it's always historically been that way.
And why did you wait till now?
Because
Thank you, Renee.
Because usually, it took me 5 years to get rid of you printing your agendas on 8.5 by 14 paper. And usually you only have 1 or 2 or no ordinances, so I did not want to buck tradition.
Yeah.
But after having gone through X tonight, I make that as a suggestion. And you might say, no, we've always done it this way in Bedminster, and that's how we like to do it, but you don't have to do it that way.
I don't believe we will have 10 ordinances again for the rest of the calendar year.
Right.
But we
Everybody
will have
wants
them
their
next
money.
year.
So please hold that thought, because we will undoubtedly forget it next year.
It will also reduce the minutes that Ms. Ray has to produce by having to record every motion to open public hearing and motion to close public hearing and the moving party and the secondary party in the vote.
You'll remind me.
If I find out that
If
you've been,
any of us are here next year.
that you've given that advice to Bernard's years ago and you're holding out.
Bernard's has never done it your way. They've done it the way I just said, and most of the towns I've represented as township attorney have just, you just read it by title and open it up for public hearing. Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance X?
We're doing that.
Okay,
Boom, you're done.
thank you, John. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 12 items on the consent agenda. These are matters of a routine nature. However, any township committee member may pull one or all for individual consideration. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey,
Aye.
Ms. Moreski,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have 4 resolutions for individual consideration. The first one is resolution number 2023-095, which amends resolution 2023-170, authorizing a shared services agreement between the Township of Bedminster and the Bedminster Township Board of Education. Ms. Ray, just want to walk us through that real quick?
Yes, Mayor, we had some meetings with the school this year where we determined that there was no longer a need to exchange monies between the two entities. Committeeman Stevenson and Committeeman Hickey were both on that committee. And so this is a win-win for both organizations. And we have a clear defined plan of what each does for one another, and we really just memorializes that.
And this is something that we've discussed in just about every budget year. We've talked it through, and the school board has been reluctant to move in that direction. But essentially what we're doing is saying, we being the township, provide certain services to the school, primarily public works services, and the use of our athletic fields. And this provides, in exchange, what the school provides is janitorial services for the police department, DPW, and the township administrative building. So,
As well as the gym facilities, and for Camp Bedminster in the summer.
correct. Thank you.
Right. And we did do a financial analysis, kind of, to look at the contribution from each, and we realized it's all going to even out in the wash.
It's a wash.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll take a motion to approve Resolution 2023-095.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is Resolution 2023-096. This is a resolution that rejects the bid for the River Road Park Community Garden Project, Phase 1, pursuant to NJSA 40A:11-13.2. We heard earlier in the evening that there was one bidder, and from what I understand, the bidder knew there was only one bidder, and came in with a very high bid for the community garden project, so high that it was multiples beyond the engineer's estimate. So we are going to, this resolution, if approved, would reject the bid, and we certainly at that point would have options to go back out to bid, or to look at alternate ways of implementing the River Road Park Community Garden. So Kevin, I imagine you've got some ideas?
Yeah, we're sitting, Robin, running some numbers myself.
Okay. So, but the first step is to actually reject the bid, and this is what this resolution will do. So if there are any further questions or comments, take a motion to approve resolution number 2023-096, rejecting the bid.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next is resolution number 2023-098. This resolution appoints a full-time administrative assistant to the administrator, municipal clerk, and the public works director. So as you all may remember, we had a resignation of the administrative assistant a couple of months ago, and Robin's gone through some interviews and has an individual that she would like to extend the offer. I believe an offer has been extended and accepted. So this would formalize the hiring of Karen Gorman as a full-time employee to fill the position of administrative assistant. Any questions or comments?
I just want to add
Okay.
that everybody has been so supportive and really backfilled that empty position for a couple of weeks now. Caitlin, Sarah, and certainly Kevin and Kevin's team have really been so helpful. Everybody has been, the whole team has been great, so.
And just for the record, because you can't see it on the screen, is that Caitlin is here at the meeting, has been with us all night, and Caitlin started out in that very same position, right? You started as administrative assistant?
Before that, I was in construction.
Oh, that's right.
Moved around
That's
a
right, you
little
were
bit.
across, You were across the hall, then
Yeah,
came to
I
administrative
was
assistant.
part-time. And
And
then I
so,
moved over to admin assistant and.
and, you know, this is clearly an indication of Caitlin, your role in that you can make what you want of these positions, and you've taken it and moved it into different places, so you know, kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, having said that, questions or comments regarding Resolution 2023-098 and filling the position of administrative assistant? Nope, seeing none, take a motion to approve resolution number 2023-098.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Hickey?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
And the final resolution for tonight is resolution number 2023-099. This resolution would appoint, let's see where it is down here, there it is, okay. Would appoint current Sergeant, Police Sergeant Thomas Polito, and we would promote him to the position of Lieutenant of the Bedminster Township Police Department. Committeeman Stevenson and I, and Robin, and Chief Bernardo have gone through a series of interviews with the qualifying sergeants for lieutenant position. And this is where the promotion panel ended up with this recommendation. And now I will ask Chief, if you don't mind, if you want to say a few words.
Sergeant Polito's been with us for about 28 years. He's probably held every job that you could have with the Detective Bureau. And I think he's going to do great things for the police department with help. So I'm excited for him to start this new position.
And it was interesting, you know, I've been through some of these promotion interviews in the past, and I was not aware of Sergeant Polito's role way back when in community policing, and that at the time, Officer Polito actually implemented some of the community policing concepts that were regarded as mainstays of Bedminster PD and sort of fell by the wayside. Chief, can you just quickly describe some of those, what some of those initiatives were?
Yeah, we used to have a youth police academy, which it was about a week long, and the kids spend about 8 hours with you every day and bring in different aspects. You show them different aspects of the job. We used to bring in like a canine officer from the county. We used to tour the juvenile detention center. We show them the radar on the police car. They would have PT every day. It was like a mini academy, but it was more fun, wasn't it?
The PT and the radar, you know.
I'm not
Okay.
getting paid, so and then he used to spearhead National Night Out. So those are two of the biggest ones that we're going to bring back. So this help.
I mean, this is a great opportunity, and it supports, I think, certainly Chief Bernardo's priorities with community policing, as well as the priorities that we set up here and work with the chief on in incorporating and making sure that our community knows that the police officers in Bedminster are their friends, and there should be no hesitation about interacting with them. And I think this is a great opportunity. And once again, every time we go through a promotion panel, it's an opportunity to meet, sometimes for an hour with each individual applicant. And, there's only one lieutenant position. But when we run through those interviews and we meet with the sergeants who are eligible, on behalf of Committeeman Stevenson and I and Ms. Ray, we look back and say, wow, we really have a great police department and great management and great leadership. There's only one can be the lieutenant, but, once again, they were all great participants and applicants. And we did get the opportunity, we made the recommendation to speak with Sergeant Polito and let him know that that was the recommendation, and to the other sergeants who didn't get the recommendation. And they all understood. I'm sure there was some back and forth within the police department, but we are in great hands. So thank you, Chief, for spearheading the promotion. Questions or comments from Township Committee?
Yeah, congratulations
Yeah, congratulations
to
to
Sergeant Polito.
soon-to-be Lieutenant Polito.
He's out of the country, but when he comes back, we'll do a formal.
Right, so what we'll do is when he does come back, we'll bring him up, ask his family. Chief will get to put his bars on him, and we'll formalize it then. We'll celebrate it then, and tonight is actually the formality of appointing that lieutenant position to Sergeant Polito. So I'll take a motion to approve resolution number 2023-099.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mr. Vicky?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye. And I'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote again. Mr. Vicky?
Aye.
Ms. Moreski?
Aye.
And Mayor Jacobs?
Aye.
Thank you.
Old business. Well, actually, we have new business. Do we have any matters for new business? Seeing none, let's go to old business. DOT improvements, Pluckman signage. We'll also probably expand that to Bedminster signage since we're Bedminster Village signage. So the two conversations with DOT, they are more than willing to go from, 6 signs
6
in
to
Pluckman
5.
down to 5?
Yes.
That's a great improvement.
What?
And they're leaving, are they upgrading the signs? Are we still getting
They
stuck
are
with?
going to upgrade the signs. They sent us a sample of what they're going to
Okay.
look like. And,
So they're gonna
plan-
take down the old
Yes.
signs?
There'll be a flashing beacon and the Paul Farrell's office already took
Okay.
improved with it.
And this will.
At the
and-
crosswalk?
Yes.
Like the one that's on Washington Valley that no one uses?
And so that beacon, that flashing beacon right now would be set up by the church, between the church and Pluckman.
Welcome to Village. Yeah,
That one will be
Yeah,
used.
that one gets
Yeah,
used a
yeah.
little bit.
That'll be
We've attempted to cross without it. It's a challenge.
No.
So this time, when they're going through the flashing beacon.
They could wave
right,
again.
waving as they're running. Yes, okay, all right, so that's DOT improvements. Utilities. So we've had a host of utility issues since our last meeting.
We have. Do you want the good or the bad and the ugly?
Let's start. Do you want to start with good or you want to end on good?
Oh, let's end on good.
End on
Okay,
good.
All right.
go with bad and ugly first.
All right, so we'll just recap on JCP&L. We, as you mentioned, Mayor, suffered 2 serious outages, one on Sunday, the 11th, the next on Monday, the 12th, the following day. The former had the power going on and off repeatedly for about 1,600 customers here in Bedminster for the entire afternoon. I have to be honest, JCP&L's performance has been abysmal over the last 12 months, honestly. I think we got to a point a few years ago where we made some real improvements and we had a steady state, but it has not been good over the last year or so. I know you've received a lot of calls from frustrated and angry residents, and quite rightly so, as have I. And I know, Kevin, you got one as well. So we've heard it loud and clear. Folks have even suggested suing the company. I will tell you, having worked for utility in my previous life, they have more lawyers and deeper pockets than we do. It's not a path we should pursue. I think we should, just as we did a few years ago, that strategy, in my opinion, is to make sure they're addressing the root causes and fixing the underlying problems. The substation failure that occurred on that Sunday, where we had the cascading outages, the on and off, and more substations going down, that should have never, ever happened. So we need to know why that occurred. We have not gotten an explanation for that. And we need to know what steps have been taken to ensure that doesn't ever happen again, because that was uncalled for. It damaged equipment at people's homes, cannot happen. I've asked our municipal liaison, Yolanta, I want their engineering team to do a reliability analysis, go back 12 to 18 months, because they're telling us they're not systemic issues, but I have to tell you, these outages, I have a hard time believing these are happening as random events. There seems to be some correlation. We've had more and more of them. They need to go back and do that look-back analysis. We also, quite frankly, need somebody designated to Bedminster from that team. They should be wearing the Bedminster tattoo on their forehead, because they need to be on the hook to do the historical analysis as well as track future outages, so that there's accountability, there's continuity, there's institutional knowledge of our local system. You have to have that. Otherwise, we're going in and out of people who are looking at this and then falling back out and not paying attention. We need an update on the equipment replacement schedule. Yolanta promised us back in January, February, that come summer, we'd start to see replacement of transformers throughout the hills. Well, it's the summer, we need to see where that is now that hopefully the equipment inventory has been relieved from the supply chain demand. And Mayor, as you mentioned before, we need to get the back of these chambers. I'll work on scheduling that with Ms. Ray. As you mentioned before, the best way for residents to raise their voice and help us, file a complaint with BPU. You can go to www.bedminster.us, click on services, click on utility information, and how to file a complaint. It's on the left-hand menu. Robin, thank you for setting that up. That will provide information on how to formally file a complaint with the BPU, which governs the utility companies. They have to pay attention. They have to respond to those complaints. So doing that as a citizen, as a resident, helps put additional pressure on JCP&L to implement those changes, helps raise our voices here on the dais. So please, if you're concerned, please fill out that form and go do that.
So I was certainly, I know we were both exchanging messages with our JCP&L rep during those outages. And I did correspond with some residents and said, when we would find out, and I did forward the information back to those residents. But, here is the explanation from JCP&L, and it's not to be satisfying. The outage on Monday evening was caused by a wire down on Route 206 and was unrelated to Sunday's outage, although unfortunately impacted some of the same customers. There were a number of situations that can cause a down wire, from animal or tree contact to lightning. The Monday outage went down during a storm. So there was a rainstorm, and there was indication that there was an outage somewhere down by 206. I'm sorry, by Quick Check, I believe. But here's the next sentence. The crew was unable to ascertain the exact cause. So that was the Monday
outage, right.
Sunday's outage appeared to indicate a piece of equipment near one substation that caused short, intermittent outages at first, but then caused a domino effect and impacted other circuits in the system, thereby spreading to a greater number of customers. Engineering is still investigating the outage to determine the precise cause. So it's an unsatisfying answer.
Right.
Certainly to, as you said, equipment can be damaged, and that was just, hearing folks who had generator would switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, and it was a beautiful Sunday afternoon into evening, so there was no weather situation.
Right.
It wasn't hot. So it did not appear to be a blackout from excessive usage.
Right.
And after all the years of dealing with JCP&L, and we have to internalize and go, is this just old equipment that's not being maintained properly, without getting detailed explanations? I think that's the assumption that we take away. And I think our residents take away. And so we did take the action of putting on the website. Here's the link. You want to complain to BPU about your electricity provider? Here it is.
Yep.
Have at it.
Yep.
And, all the efforts we've had with JCPL, we've seen improvements.
We have.
We've seen
Okay.
improvements. As you've said, it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, and we have got to continue to squeak louder and hold them accountable.
Yep.
And we'll continue to do so, and we'll let all the residents know the next time we bring the JCP&L representatives, and we'll make sure that it's not just the rep, but that we do want someone from engineering.
And we made that request. Yep.
To attend as well. So when
Right.
we do schedule that, we'll let everyone know through the Bedminster social media and through the rave system so that folks can voice their comment.
And they should.
Right. Okay, so that was that the bad or the ugly?
That was the bad and the ugly.
Oh, that was bad and the ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there some good?
There is some good.
There is some good.
There is some good. So
Okay.
just to talk about Altice for a moment, obviously the fiber upgrade project is continuing. Most of the work is going on in Wood Duck Pond. And for Oaks right now, we have a schedule for the remainder of the year. Knollcrest will start in early July. Mayfield will begin on or about the 14th of August. Fieldstone will kick off towards the end of September, and Stone Edge will be TBD, but will likely be the last build of the year. So again, these builds take between 6 and 8 weeks to complete. So this is a multi-year process to get these upgrades in place. So what will happen is they'll suspend work over the winter. They'll resume the work in 2024, starting back up in the neighborhoods that are basically bordering Hills Drive. And then when they're done with that, they'll go up the hill to the Hills Highland area in Bedminster. We've been providing more information to them in terms of utility easements. They've got a good plan in place. They're attacking the neighborhoods one by one. And I'm also following up with respect to your question, which is when do the neighborhoods that have been completed get notified? We think it's once the build is done. So folks in the neighborhoods in Hills Village North should start to get postcards to say, you're ready to be upgraded, and call here.
So in my layman's terms, so that there's already a connection to the fiber system.
Right.
So they're connecting the neighborhoods to the fiber system as opposed to just getting the wires in place and then eventually connecting everybody all at once.
Correct. So basically, they're wiring the fiber to the pedestal now, which are those little green boxes in the neighborhoods. And then when the neighborhood is ready to go, they'll send a postcard out, and you can call up the 800 number, and they will then take the fiber from that pedestal right into your home. And then you'll have direct fiber connectivity. And if you're a Verizon customer, you may have the opportunity to get a promotion or something from Altice for a good bargain. Who knows? But that's typically what the company will do in that
So the
case.
companies will then start trading.
Competing. It's just like the wireless industry. You're going to get an offer.
You get an offer. If you switch to us, we're going to give you 12 months at this
Right.
reduced rate.
Yep.
And then that you can then take that back to Fios or Verizon and say, hey, look, I got this offer over the switch unless,
The beauty
Need
of
it.
competition. Better prices and better service.
So that is better than the bad and ugly.
Yes, that's much
good.
better.
That's good. Great. John, nothing further on Plugman Park housing. So let's proceed to Township Committee comments. We'll start with Committeeman Hickey.
I'm not used to batting leadoff, but you know what? I'm going to take Committeeman Stevenson's spot for a moment and just thank our director, Kevin Murray, for all his good work. He obviously is very busy, given all those ordinances we passed tonight, but in addition, he's available to our residents. So over the last couple of days, we've had questions regarding lawn cutting going up Schley Mountain Road, and reached out to Kevin, and Kevin's on top of the county getting that done. And then today, water main break in Timberbrook, and Kevin is out there helping folks out. Yeah, making sure that, he's working with the utilities. You're there for the residents, Kevin. We really appreciate it. Everybody does.
Trees going down.
Right. He is.
Right. Trees going down. Trees going down because of property owners. Trees going down because of DPW.
Right.
There's a film crew. Call Kevin Murray.
Who are you going to call?
There's a film crew across the street from me. Call Kevin Murray.
Seriously, you represent the best of Bedminster, Kevin. You've got such a service and a citizen-oriented attitude towards everything. So just thank you. Appreciate all you do, man. And Mayor, that's all I got.
Thank you. Committeewoman Mareski.
And I still can't follow him, but thank you, Kevin, for all your work. you know, I reach out to you all the time and annoy you with little things, and things are done in about 5 minutes, so
Yep.
we appreciate that. And I'm so excited for Sergeant Bernardo getting some help with the police department, and we're, Chief, why did I say sergeant? Because I'm thinking about the sergeant. Chief Bernardo, and you're getting more staff, and that's gonna be great for the town, and we in the Hills really appreciate that. That's all I got.
Thank you. So as Robin mentioned, May was crazy. The beginning of May was crazy. Middle of May was crazy. The end of May was crazy. June has been crazy. And it's only Tuesday, and both Robin, the chief, and I have a very busy week ahead of us on township matters. But I do want to come back to what Robin mentioned earlier, is that we had the opportunity to host the 8th grade, the entire 8th grade of Bedminster School, here at the municipal complex. As Robin mentioned, Kevin, with his connections, opened up the fire department. So when we saw this horde of children coming down the hike and bike path from the school, and Robin and the chief and I were out there, we're like, oh my God, we can't let them into the building yet. We gotta get some energy out of these guys. Robin was already on top of it with Kevin, took him through the fire department, got some energy out there. Then Kevin took him across the DPW, got some more energy out there. Officer Smith came by with his car, and we're like, Chief, can we entertain the kids with a police vehicle, you know, a little tour? So we got that done. Officer Smith hit the siren, which scared the Jesus out of everyone. That was great. And then, you know, I still wasn't quite ready to face them by myself. So we gave them a tour. No, we took them to construction and land use for an impromptu Janine Dillion discussion about the land use and construction office.
Did you make him do laps around?
You took him to the sewer plant. I've been on those tours over at Berners Township.
Oh, that's
They
funny,
just get
right?
around.
That was only,
Yeah, right.
if only Rodney was here, we could have done that. And then brought him across the hall again to scare, once again, to scare Neil Mastrobuono with 80 kids, or sorry, 60 kids, most of whom.
I bet he could handle
Most
it.
of whom he's taking, oh no.
Oh, really?
He wasn't ready for it. Just brought them all through the doors. They crowded around him. And then I asked Robin to take out the charter. So the Bedminster Charter, the 250-year-old charter, was taken out. We got to show them, ask some little trivia and history questions about Bedminster, so that was really great. And then I ran out of things to entertain them with.
You didn't run around the field out back or anything like that?
And I thought I'd maybe taken some energy and edge off of them, but no, it was in here. Robin had the Bedminster Township bags filled with goodies and
Nice.
township memorabilia, so she was already on top of it.
Nice.
But that still didn't stave off 15 minutes of Q&A directly with the mayor. And they asked some rather pointed questions.
What was the best question you got?
Exhausted after the day.
Well, some of them were, you know, what inspired you to be mayor, but some of them were much more specific, such as, do you work with your surrounding towns on administrative services?
Seriously.
Were you planting questions, Robin?
Somebody's kid's mother asked that.
And then someone asked a question, so that was the question about sort of like, you know, what we call the lateral move. Are you working with the surrounding municipalities, which was a great question. And you know, I tried to address it by giving all the examples of the shared services we do. And then someone asked a question about, do you work with the other governments? So not just local, but going up. So working with the county and the state and our representatives in the federal government. and I got to work through examples of how we work with the county and state and
Nice.
with our congressman. And so they asked really pointed questions, and I think the teacher was very pleased, and he wants to make it part of a yearly routine exercise before they head down to DC for the 8th grade trip to Washington. So he timed it. Meanwhile, I'm thinking like, this is the last thing they're doing before they head down to Washington. So I'm like, these kids, they were all in good behavior. So whatever we did worked out. Robin, just mark it down so it can be replicated in the future, get some energy out, and then bring them into the chambers.
Well, you gotta bring, like, plant some seeds in their brain so they can go down to Washington and bring back some money for Bedminster. Because I think those little imps will be good.
I think if you motivated them, absolutely, yeah, so I think that's a great idea, Renee. And that's all I have, so it is 8:56. We've had a busy agenda for tonight. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you and good night.